Hey guys, have another knife review for you, and it's a really special knife, really cool knife that I was able to get a really good deal on from Instagram, and it is of this beauty right here, the Reate Wave. And to be honest, I just was kind of curious about it. I wasn't really expecting to like it as much as I do, but it's a really awesome knife. So let's start out on the outside of it. First thing, the pivot is, you can't really see from the video, but it's a big pivot. That's a T10, and then that's a T8. So I think they are machining their own hardware, because it's very very deep and very good hardware. You can tell right off the bat that it has some very intricate machine work, and you can see the blue on the tips of it, and how there's little texture lines. You can also see the little machine lines on the titanium, so it gives it a really cool touch. Everything is rounded off and just very good fit and finish. This was used, but it came perfectly centered and great action. And I love this pocket clip. It goes pretty deep. Let's get that out of the way. So these are thicker pants, and you'll see that it's able to accommodate even thick pants, and it will ride very deep in the pocket. Very little left over, so that's really cool. So some awesome details with the pocket clip. You can see that it's machined titanium that forms a little ball. Some knife companies, they actually use a ceramic ball. This might actually be a cheaper way of doing it. But whereas this had to cut away all that titanium to make that ball. And then something very cool, you can see those two little indentions right there that were milled out to give it some spring. So you have never seen that on a pocket knife. That's really good detail right there. And then you don't even see the screw. The screw is coming on the back side. And the screws that hold the scale on are also coming in from the back side. So the only two torques that you see is right here and right here. So very clean. Honestly, I didn't think I liked this as much as I do, but I mean the scale. But it's really cool to look at. And this acts as like an over travel stop, and also it has a over travel on the lock bar insert. One of the great things about this knife is the action. It just rockets out, and then just has great smooth shutting. But this is some of the best, snappiest flipping action that I have ever had in a knife. I've had the Gemini, I've had a lot of different flipping knives, but this is just something satisfying about the flipping this. The flipper tab is very well done. There's a little jimping on it, but something about just all the smoothness of it, and then when it comes up, it's a perfect, it follows the handle perfectly. You can see that. So it doesn't dig into your hand. That's how it looks in my hand. It's just a perfect angle right here. No, very, very good ergos. I mean, it's just melts in your hand. Very good ergos. Barely any of it sticking out. And something I was surprised of was that this is not a small knife. I thought it was a lot smaller than it is. But here it is against Delica. So it's got about an inch on the Delica. Something that it's comparable to is the Manix 2. So it is, the Manix 2 is a tiny bit bigger than it, but yeah, it's not a small knife at all. See what else I have to compare it to. Here's the Mini Freak. So yeah, you get the idea. It's a big knife. I don't have all the specs on the blade, but I think this is a 3 1/4 inch blade, and so almost 8 inch knife. But yeah, it flips so good, and for it being such a big knife, it is amazingly lightweight, and that's due to these. You can see the skeletonized titanium, and then on this side there's a little bit of skeletonizing. You can't see it, but you could see in there that there is some skeletonization going on. So that lightens up the knife. And let me get the scale out for you. Alright, coming in on the scale at a whopping 3.8. So like I said, that's a good, for the amount of what you're getting, that all titanium handles and a big thick blade. This is a thick blade, by the way. I think that's probably one of the reasons why it weighs as much as it does. It's still under 4 ounces, and it doesn't feel like an almost 4 ounce knife in your pocket. But yeah, this blade stock is thick, and it does taper down nicely to it's a full flat grind. But let's look at the thickness compared to a Delica. So you can see it's just much thicker than a Delica. What else do I have? A Sage 2. It's a little bit thicker. Still not as thick as this one. Manix 2. And also thicker than Manix 2. So I think actually at the moment, yeah, this is the thickest knife that I have. So yeah, I don't have any other knives that are thicker than this, except for some fixed blades. So, but like I said, for the how thick the blade is, the weight is very good, and it does slice pretty good. It came sharp. I don't have any paper to show you, but it is sharp. It is the blade is a M390 blade, if you didn't see that already, and it has a great stone wash. I always liked stone wash blades better than the satin blades. It does have the serial number in there. I don't think you can see it. Oh no, it's not. Oh yeah, there it is. You can see it now. So I guess only 500 of these were made. Not sure, but yeah, you can see right there on the lock side frame, that little triangle that's cut out right where my thumb is. That's the only skeletonization on this side. But just a very symmetrical. They got the same size bolsters on each side, so that's cool. It's very aesthetically pleasing like that. It is only right hand tip up. The only knock I have, and this has been said about this knife before, oh yeah, it is on bearings, of course. There's a stop pin. The only negative that's been said is this lanyard, but really it doesn't even get in the way, or like it's not sharp. It doesn't get in the way. It just kind of looks a little odd. If it was just gone, I think it would look a little cleaner. But in the pocket, you don't see it. I don't notice it when you're deploying the knife, so it's not a big deal to me. Yeah, it just feels good in the hands. Good in the hands. Great knife. If you find one of these on a deal, take it. I wouldn't pay full price for this. It's full price. It's like $380 or something like that, or $375. But I think that's a little too much. But for what I got it for, I would pay for it for that much. But a little some jimping back here. You don't really feel it at all. No other jimping on the knife though, besides the flipper tab and some back here. But like I said, I really like this knife. I can see it sticking around a lot in my collection. So that is the Reate Wave. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Have a good day.